Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey. Welcome to another episode of the Mad Lucrative Podcast. I am the host, the one, the only Magneto 7 in the building. That's me. So, welcome to another episode. I'm mad loud, so let's turn it down just a little bit. But welcome to another episode. This is episode. I'm in the 70s. I'm 70. I think 77. I'll take it. But welcome to another episode. This has been a crazy, impactful week. I'll say that. I have had a lot of come to Jesus moments with myself, some of which came in the form of my daughter telling me certain things, right? So I'm so proud of my oldest. My oldest Skylar is doing her best. Like she is. How can I break it down? So everybody in my immediate family knows that when we talk about Skylar, she's like the artsy one. Sienna's like the business head. I'll say that. So she's like the little. Sienna's the one that will come up and she'll say, hey, so I'm going to go charge the battery. So in her brain, she already knows she's going to charge the battery so she can go watch TV and do something that we asked her not to do. That's her, right? But Skylar is the one that's kind of like quiet and she won't really talk to people and she's communal, but not like out front. Like she's not one of those people. So me and my wife have been just noticing how she's coming to her own as far as the communication department. And I'm just like, yo, who is this chick? So I just saw this. I'm going to show y'all this. So look at this. If you're looking at it on, I'm sorry, all my audio listeners, I'm showing them a picture that my daughter drew. I don't see. Can y'all see it? Look at this. So you see my face. I think everybody has like the straight face, right? But she knows how to draw. Sorry, Instagram. There you go. Everybody has a straight face, and she draws the sad face, a straight face, and she knows how to show different emotions on the faces what she draws. So I was working a whole lot. It just came off call. I was working a whole lot this past week, and I was at the house. I'm gonna probably say I worked. I probably worked about 70 hours last week, something like that. 70 hours. What up, Beats? But so we were talking, and she said, "You got to go to work again?" So I was like, "Dang, do I have to go to work again?" And the answer is yes. Like it don't. I guess the weight of fatherhood, you don't really know how to tell people, what up? You don't really know how to tell people, or especially your daughter, like, I have to work, especially your 7-year-old daughter. You don't know how to tell her, like, okay, I have to work for this, and that. But now we're getting to the point where she's communicating, and I do have to tell her. I got to tell her, okay, look, you see, that food that you're eating right now, I had to pay for that. When y'all turn the lights on in the house, I had to pay for that. When y'all get vacations and we try to go out to eat on Fridays as a family or something, like do something on the weekend to connect. But again, all last week I was working, so we didn't have no time to do that. So she was just like, "You got to work again?" So I was like, "Yeah, because if y'all are expensive." Like it ain't damn bit of having women in your house expensive. I mean, cheap. Everything is expensive. So it brings me to the point where I was thinking, what up, Mitch? I was thinking like, okay, at what point do we say, I had enough. I done gave all this time out to everybody else. I've given everybody resources. I've given everybody plans. And now it's time to feed into my direct family, right? So I've had these come to Jesus moments all weekend, come to Jesus moments. So I was just like, is being selfish a good thing? And I want y'all to answer that too on TikTok. I mean, I'm so used to going live on TikTok, but on Instagram and on Facebook, is being selfish a good thing, or is it kind of like one of them things where you gotta do it, but you don't really want to do it? You feel guilty. Like, what you think? Cause I'm gonna tell you this. All right, so in having that conversation with her, and my wife posted something about somebody, which I don't want to say no names because they might be watching the pod. So if you're watching this, I'm sorry. It is what it is. But, I have a person. I do a good job of these examples too. It's a good thing. Okay, Mitch said it's a good thing. All right. On Facebook, they didn't say if it's good or bad. So I'll just say it's good so far. Because I have a person that's in my immediate space. I can't say circle because I welcome people into my circle. And if you're not in my circle, you're not there for a reason. I'm just one of those people. So it's a person that's in my vicinity. Not necessarily a circle, but in my vicinity. And I'm just like, okay, how much is me giving to this person too much? Right? Because if y'all didn't know, oh yeah, we got a new pod coming up. Me and my wife got a pod coming up. Hello. And I forgot, oh yeah, I got a social media person. They told me to say it too. If you're watching the video, please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you'll know when I'm going live. So anyway, that's done. All right. But me and my wife got a pod coming up, and this person that shall remain nameless takes advantage of every opportunity that they have to actually get something from me, right? Get something from me. And this particular person chose to, I'm 7 minutes in, so I'll say who it is. This person chose to be a Now, again, my wife just posted about this, so it's not a new story to some of y'all. But he just got about a month ago. About a month. But now you have a that you're trying to build. You have all these resources, and you're used to putting on. I'll say that without. For a lack of better words, you're used to putting on, right? So this person, who shall remain nameless, came to me and said, "Hey, you got some, you got this, you got that. Can I hold that?" So in my, you see how I'm trying. I haven't cussed all season, the whole pod. I think at 77 episodes, I ain't cussed at least 3 of them. At least 3. But, so he asked if he could use my stuff, and I was like, Mr. God know what I'm talking about too. So, I was like, you know what? I'm a friend. I'll be a friend. I can be a friend, right? But what I know, this is how it works. And I want everybody, if you're in the space, and this goes back to the original question, is being selfish good? So I know when a person asks, can they do something or can they hold something, and they have intentions on doing the same thing again, and you don't have the resources, then you're going to have to ask me again for something else. And I don't like that. Don't keep asking me for, if you ask me for something, it might come with some tax. I'm just going to let you know off the rip. Unless we have a mutual understanding and it's different. But anyway, he asked me for this thing, and I said, you know what? I'll be a friend. Go ahead. You can get it. You can hold it. Well, if you hold it, and everybody that's in the musician world knows, if you're in the world, if you hold somebody, you're not just holding. You got to get a walkthrough. You got to get, this is where you plug this up at. This is where you do this. If it starts whistling, you got to turn this down. If you do this, and that. And everybody knows when you get on site, you're going to have to troubleshoot. It's just one of them things. And don't call me. If you're already holding my stuff, for one. If you're already holding my stuff, don't call me. That's my Denzel finger. Don't call me asking for how to work the stuff if I showed you how to work it from the jump. That's right, Sean. Don't only ask. Yo, okay. All right, so it was a different situation. And it went back to the original question when Skylar said, you got to work again? So I'm thinking, I got to get this something again? Yo, all right. So it was just another epiphany, right? That was one of the epiphanies that I had for the weekend. And It was something else, and my wife might be watching it. She might watch later on. If not, it's cool. It ain't really no big secret. But we've been planning like this fire like wedding anniversary, and we going to Vegas. We gonna do some fire stuff, and I'm seeing some of my friends that's in my space. It's like, yo, when we went to Vegas, I went to go see Usher. And I'm like, I want to go see Usher. Like, what the tickets look like? I mean, one friend posted, I can't believe I bought these tickets, and they were like in the nosebleed. Usher was like that big, so I was like, all right. So if I get tickets, are they going to be in the nosebleed? And if they are in the nosebleed, was it worth it? Is it worth the experience? You shouldn't have nothing. Yo, all right. So I started going online. Yeah, I go online. I started to look for the tickets. I say, matter of fact, he might not even be performing the weekend that we're there. So let me just check. Is Usher performing this weekend? I type it on Google, and guess what Google said? Yes. I said, oh, okay. So how much the tickets cost? So I'm starting to look at the tickets, because keep in mind, I really wanted. Shamia was gonna buy me the tickets to go to, what was it? The Jeezy concert. She's gonna buy me tickets to go see her, and I go to the Jeezy concert so I could dress up in all black turtleneck, the little black hat, chain, Cuban link chain, gold watch, all that stuff, right? I was gonna go to the Jeezy concert, and I was like, I'm young. Yeah! Like, I was ready to do all that, right? I was ready to do all that at the concert. And then she said, are you sure? So I'm like, are you sure? Yeah, of course. We don't do stuff. Like, we don't spend on nothing. Am I sure? Yes, I want to go see Jeezy. I want, again, the Denzel finger. I want to see Jeezy at the concert with the orchestra. It's a once in a lifetime chance. I want to see it. And she sent me a screenshot of the, yep. Mr. God, I already know what the price was. She sends me a screenshot of the tickets. And I saw them. She's like, $2,000. And I said, is that $2,000 each or together? She's like, well, depending on the seats, it might be each. And I'm like, ooh, that's like a nice little car down payment. Like, nah, I'm gonna have to miss out on Young this time. But the Usher tickets, we'll see. We'll see. If we do go, you'll see us post about it, and it was fun. So putting things together and this is something I wanted to, on my pod, if you're new to the pod, I like to talk to everybody, the wives, the husbands, everybody that's in the business space. I've now went from just musician and creatives to just business in general. What up, Chris? So I was thinking, what type of mental health and what type of awareness do we have to have when we're going into certain spaces? And I'll unpack that a little bit. What I mean by that is this: when I was starting in, I'm gonna say 07, 08, right after college, right? Started doing some stuff. Started going into the music business and moving a little bit, getting my feet wet, whatever. But I've talked about this before. What it took for me to get one placement was cutting off a lot of people, cutting off a lot of energy into stuff that I feel like I should have. Right? Like I'll be 40 this year, right? I still don't know nothing about sports. Like, if you ask me, I know what a touchdown is. I know what a field goal is. I know if you go to the 3-point line, it's a three points, right? 3-point line, 3-point, half court, layup. I don't know nothing about sports, right? But I've always wanted to. But that part of my life, I dedicated to music. Simply said, when I'm at the gym and I'm pumping weight, right? I'm pumping weight, and I go. I got to do my arms like that. I'm pumping weight, right? And I go in the locker room and I'm starting to put my stuff back on and I'm doing this. And the guy's starting to talk. Yeah, so-and-so did 3 points over there. Oh, yeah, they about to win it. Who you got? I'm like this. Huh? What would that mean? Who I got? I got me. I got Jesus. Yo, it is the most uncomfortable moment for me ever. This is a transparency moment. Sports is very uncomfortable for me. Even when you get into now boxing, I could talk when we talk about boxing, MMA fighting. Yeah, we good. I'm that's my bag. But like team sports, oh no! Like I'm gonna just be like, you gonna see me do this? I got both phones up, so I can't take another phone. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start inching my way out of the conversation, and I'm gonna go that way. So don't bring up sports around me. Now, if you want to talk about what did Prince do, how many pieces did Prince have in this band when he did the Super Bowl? I know that. What did it? How many different chord changes did they go through when they did this? And how did it feel? And then when the purple rain started falling out the sky, the moment that you felt when you saw that, the Bruno Mars and Beyonce halftime show. Listen, I'm that guy. That's me. Beyonce say she that girl. I'm that guy. But sports, So now that's created a soft spot like a baby head. Since that's created a soft spot, I'm underdeveloped in that part of being what society calls a man, right? I'm not developed in sports, right? But I got a Grammy, right? It's a trade-off. And I think as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as husbands, as wives, that's especially that bag. Yo, if I got to get in the camera right here. If you are a thotty daddy, we talked about this before. We talked about this. If you are a thotty daddy, we created a category for you right here, right? You stay right here, and the wholesomes stay over here. Now, I don't want one of y'all to cross pollinate. Thotty daddies right here. All the hoochie daddy. Even though I produced a song called Hoochie Daddy Shorts, shouts out to us. But all the thotty daddies stay here. Wholesome, stay over here. Because what's going to happen is we're going to have about 30 different types of freakniks coming up. And in the next 20 years, if you've been in thotty daddy category and you get you a wholesome husband and he like, yo, man, I got the baddest one. And he notices that you're in freaknik 2038, then guess what? He's going to have some feelings. I'm going to have to help. Yo, AJ, thotty stay here. I might put that on a t-shirt. And I want y'all, all the thotty daddies, I want y'all to wear the t-shirt this summer. I am a thotty daddy. And then on the back say, I want to be a wholesome in the next 20 years. All right, I'm going to get out of that bag. But yeah, it comes to like the choices, all the choices that we make is setting us up for something that we want to see in the future. That's why I always like to ask anybody that I'm coaching, is what you're doing right now going to set you up for something, some type of big win in the next 5 years, 10 years. Now, if you project that it won't, I suggest you start changing up how you moving, right? I know I don't know how many exes might watch any of my pods. I'm sorry if I never say names. I'm good about that. I never say no names, but I think in everybody's history there is a story there, right? And there are some mistakes within stories. You don't grow without mistakes. I'm one of those people. I don't believe that. I mean, I do believe that you can't grow without mistakes, but let's try to limit the mistakes, right? Nah, that is. Okay. AJ, okay, Mr. I'm gonna shout you out, bro. AJ Olden said he's not with the thotty daddies, but he can help me with the team sports. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Now, you sure you don't want to help me with the thotty? Nah, I'm playing. Oh, yo. All right, so yeah, what type of decisions are we making? Is it gonna set us up for the big win? Are we making decisions that's going to grow us together as families? Right now, I know some people might say, well, bruh, Mag, I'm not a family person. I grew up without so-and-so. I did this and this. I'm one of the people, I believe that you can find family anywhere, especially if you're in a church. Say you're in a good church and everybody welcomes you, they love you, and that's your inherited family. Like, yo, Be with them people. They might not be blood. It's cool. Find connection. Because I think what's happening right now is a lot of the the youngins. Because I learned that I'm unk age. I didn't know I was unk age, and I got a few gray hairs. So it's like, hey, big unk. So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm him. But I noticed a lot of the youngins are filling their schedules and filling their mental space with just work, right? And listen, I'm one of the first people. I did it for years. I was the team no sleep, team sleep insomnia, until the doctor was like, yo, you know you can bust your heart, right? I was like, bust my heart. It's like, your heart can literally explode if you don't sleep. I was like, oh, okay, I need to let me retract some of them statements. But yo, I think we have to start filling our space, filling ourselves with things that's of substance. Because I think for so long, and I don't like to make it a racy black and white situation, because I got a lot of different type of fan base. But I will say this: I notice in the black community, because I am black, I have no white influence on the show no more. So I notice in the black community we have a lot of excuses and reasons for our practices. And I think we can get into the space where we break those concepts, right? One that's really, really hard for me to break is work until you're exhausted, work until you fall asleep. Ever since I started getting on the weight loss journey and working out and doing all that stuff, I started trying to do the workouts at 4:30 because I'm like, yo, I'm He-Man. I could go to sleep at 1 and wake back up at 4:30 and work out for an hour and then go to work and all this. I can't. That was a big fail. But I was programmed for so long that, yo, if you do everything to the T and work out until exhaustion and then just work on jobs, and then when you get home, just fall asleep. That's the road to success. That is part of it, right? Because I do believe it's a certain amount of sweat equity that you have to put into your dreams to see them come into fruition. That's why I be getting mad at the manifestors. That's like those are superheroes for me. The manifestors, the great manifestors. That's why I be getting mad at them sometimes, because it's like, yo, if you are a person that's naturally gifted, right? And I think most of my friends is in my close space. I think everybody is like hella talented. Like, talent comes second to none, right? Everybody is fire in my space, right? But I notice that when it comes to, like, if I would have a label meeting with the exec or A&R or whoever, and we're trying to go through artists, and they're like, yo, I think they could do this, and that. And case in point, I remember, this was probably 2011, right? 2011. I took Rock Dean to New York with me, someone else. And see, I don't say names no more. But I took Rock Dean with me and someone else to New York, and we were going to different labels. And I was like, yo, so if we go to this label, I got a deal with this company, and I know you at this company, so it should be easy for me to set something up, and we politic and create some type of deal. All right. So that was the first point I learned right there. They don't care nothing about the artist that you're bringing into their door. They want to find the artist so they can feel like they made the artist. And then once they feel like they made them, then they have this almighty career to hang over their head, right? But that's neither here nor there, because I got some execs that might be on the show. And they should know, if they come on the show, we talking spicy. I got a lot of questions. But so we were at Universal Republic at the time, and we went in, we started to play some records. I'm like, yo, these joints are smackers. I'm like, yo, you hear that? That joint's fire. So we playing beats, and we going through all this stuff. And the the exec hit the button and was like, yo, that is hot. That's fire. What you got for YG? No, it was YC. YC at the time. What you got for YC? I was like, racks on racks. He was like, yeah. I was like, I don't know. We come up with something. So I said, well, what about Future? Right? Notice, I've been in this space for a long time. I was like, what about Future? I was like, Future actually feels like that's the actual talent. Like, Future's the talent. The YC dude's kind of corny to me. Like, he mad corny. And they're like, Future is nobody. He has nothing. I'm not going to tell you what color these people were. I'll let you guess. Future's nobody. YC is the future. So I was like, okay. So we sent songs in back to back to back. They liked a few songs. And then it was a change of plans all of a sudden. They said, well, this guy Future actually might have a few records. So I was just like, I told y'all, Yo, I had so many of those moments in the music business. I had so many of those moments where it's just like, yo, all you got to do is listen to the creatives in direction. Do some type of like structure where everybody wins, everybody feels appreciated, and everybody wins. But no, that's not how they want to do it. And I didn't mean for this to turn into a music business rant, but I'm just letting you know kind of where I'm building all these statements from. So a few years later, you know, we got Future coming on the scene, and voila, Future is friends with Drake, and Drake is like the new thing, and everybody's like, yo, Future, Drake, and I'm just looking like, y'all big dummies. I told y'all this. Another person, when I was in the studio with Ty Dolla $ign, we were in New York, around the same time period. I remember calling, which was my girlfriend at the time, which is my wife now. But I called my wife. I was like, yo, I say, it's a dude. You remember the dude that sung the what was it? Tooted and booted. Hey, tooted. She was like, yeah. I was like, no, that mug can sing. I was like, I think his name like Ty Dolla $ign. Like, all right. Now I kept calling him T.Y. Dolla $ign. He was like, nigga, my name is Ty. I was like, okay, all right, Ty. But I remember doing all of that stuff and working. I was like, yo, that's gonna be something. 5 years later, same thing. So I'm just like, yo, at some point, everybody has to get in the space where they're actually listening, right? And that brings me to the family relationship space, right? How many times are us husbands, us wives, having conversations with our spouses and we're not even listening? And I think it's easy to do. Right? It's easy to do, especially as a husband. I can't really speak as a wife. That's why me and my wife got a podcast coming. But it's very easy to do as a husband, especially if you're a husband provider type of guy, right? I can't really speak for the other guys that just stay at the house. I'm sorry, I'm not him. But I noticed that it was, and I ain't gonna put no names. I be wanting to air it out all the time, but I've heard a few conversations with my OGs that, yeah, if you got a wife, man, well, you need to make sure you got an account that you hiding. I'm like, hiding? Why I gotta do that? You'll see. And then I hear some of the older women tell they daughters, well, you make sure you have your stash because you never know. And for me, it's like, yo, it's not. The never know should never be the never know if your partner's leaving. Never know if your partner's doing something behind your back. The never know should be, you never know if hard times come up and y'all got to put these coins together and pay for this big bill or whatever comes up. You have a lot on your mind. Exactly. Right? And I think what happens is, you saying that's from a wife's perspective. All right. Socialite in the city. Hey, I see you. Let me give you a clap because you're in the building. But yo, it's like, I want everybody to just take a second, right? Because I think what we're being sold or what we've been sold, right? And it's one thing I want to talk about. I might talk about it on this pod or we might talk about it on me and my wife's pod. But anyway, I noticed that us as Americans have been sold. The American dream is what? The house with the white picket fence, 2 kids, a girl and a boy with the dog. All of these, the stereotypes as what success is. You got to be a 6-figure person. This, and that. Girl, if you want a happy husband, make sure you feed him. That ain't. I cook. That ain't. That don't apply to me. You know what I mean? It's one of them. It's just the stereotypes. It's like, yo, I think all of us have to really just take a moment, breathe, and ask your partner, look, you good? Like, I got a friend of mine, and I'll put his name out there because we're really good friends. But Lenthius told me that him and his partner was like, they do a checkup on each other. It's like quarterly. Like, now that's a little formal. It's a little formal, but he's like, yeah, I do a checkup. We do checkups, and we say, look, are you happy? Are you happy in the relationship? Is this something I need to do? Is something we need to fix? Do we need to go to counseling? Every quarter is clockwork. They've gotten used to doing this. But I think what happens is a lot of the times us as married people are in relationships or in business partnerships, we are afraid of asking a question because if we ask the question and we get an answer that we don't like, it's hell and fire and brimstone. Like, I asked you if you was happy in this relationship, and you gonna say no? What you mean? Like, and then that's gonna make the other person do what? Back off of like, you know what? You got it. Like, I don't even want to talk about this. But I think we really have to get in the bag of connecting to each other again, because everything that society is feeding us right now is to pull us apart. It is to pry us apart like the jaws of life. You think about it. Think about it. I know I was having I probably can't even air the pod now because anyway. But I was having a conversation with a person, them. And I was just like, okay, you're a them. What is a them? And the them or the they person was like, I'm them or they. I was like, what is that? So we were going back and forth. I want to put that pod out so bad, but their publicist was like, yeah, we can't do it. So I was like, all right, whatever. But I just had the question because I was just like, okay, you transition from a man to a woman, right? If you transition from a man to a woman, that means you're a woman. I feel comfortable calling you a woman because that's what it was. But you don't want me to call you a woman. You want me to call you a they. And I'm like, that, I don't get it. So it was just like 30 minutes of just like, okay, you got it. Go ahead, do your thing. But it's just like, yo, society is going to push more of that on us, especially if we got kids. Think about it. I got a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. In the next 20 years, what are they going to call normal? And I mean, the thing is, I look at it like, all right, my girls don't know nothing about struggle, right? They don't know nothing. Me and my wife, when we first got married, we got the water turned off, lights turned off. Anything bad that can happen in a relationship to cause the people to be pulled apart happened. Everything bad happened. But it's just like, yo, now we've come up with different plans. We come up with different strategies and businesses that make us work. We work for our business, but we have a good family balance. And our girls will never know struggle. So if they never know struggle, and I feel like it's a lot of relationships that's like this too. So that's why I'm talking about it. But if your girls have never known struggle, they've never had anybody mess with them. All they see is mommy and daddy. They love daddy is a strong man. He come in the house. Skylar said, "Daddy, you so strong." I said, "Thank you, Skylar. You so handsome." I said, "Thank you, Skylar." She said pretty at first. No, she said, "You're so beautiful, Daddy." And I was like, "No, we gonna say beautiful. We're gonna say handsome." Because I just don't want to get the lines of communication twisted. Now, I do believe that a man can be beautiful, a couple can be beautiful, but for this example, I want the girls to know this is what a family dynamic looks like. But I feel like the school system, media, everything that's in front of us takes away that idea. That family dynamic idea. I even have a friend that's in the ad space, advertising and promotions, and he was telling me, he said, "Yo," he said, "You know what my company does?" I was like, "No, what's up?" And they do big commercials. They do Target, they do Walmart, they do Lowe's, all the big box stores. They do the commercials for them. They set it up, cast it, and all that stuff. He said, "You know, the main thing they say, we don't want an all black family to be cast for this commercial." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "No all black family. If you want to do a black family, a quote unquote black family, has to be a white wife and a black husband." And I might be putting too much business out there, but I'm just letting y'all know. I'm not saying companies either, so it's cool. But yo, he's like, "Yo, it might is if we gonna cast a black family, it's got to be a mixed family. That's the only way it's gonna work. It's not gonna be. Although your family is beautiful, I love everything y'all got. I come over there eat steak with y'all. But when it comes to commercials, you will never get cast together as a family. It's gonna always be this." I say, interesting. He said, so it's gonna be a black husband or a white wife, or a white husband and a black wife. And then if it's gonna be kids, the kids got to be curly hair with the mixed skin. Or if it's gonna be another kind of family, it's gonna be two daddies and a kid, or two mommies and a kid. I was just like, so he said, now if you want to all a one color family, yeah, we'll cast an all white family. So I was like, wow, okay. So now knowing all of this information, knowing how music business works, everybody tries to get as much as they can get. Even with sports, I know that about sports and business. They'll try to get as much as they can get. Yo, exactly. They'll get as much as they can get for the cheapest buck. Right? I had one person, and this was when I was around probably episode 40 or something like that. It's like 40 something. But they were saying, "Oh, you know what, Mag? You got the perfect pod." And I'm kind of glad that the numbers are picking back up, because I'm proving them wrong. Matter of fact, shouts out for me, man. Shouts out for me. But yeah, the ad person that I was talking to, he was like, "Yo, I know we could get you a deal over here at so and so." I was like, "Okay." I said, "Well, why?" I was like, "We just started. I'm one of the people. I'm gonna do all the work first, present some real numbers, and then we're gonna talk some business. I'm just one of them people." So anytime somebody offers something to me prematurely, I want to know why. Why? Like, just give me the real answer so I can make a sound decision. So he said, "You know what? All right, I see what type of person you are." He said, "You know what? The fact that you got a white boy on your podcast, and it's you, and y'all go back and forth about race, and y'all go back and forth about politics and this and that. It's a perfect show. You're kind of like a black Republican, but not really. Like, you kind of in the middle." And he's like the real white Republican. I was like, wow. So you feel like you could get me a deal for my show that I created. I created the LLCs. I pay for if it's food for lunch and coffee and Starbucks and all this, I pay for it. So it's my network. And the fact that you said that it'll work because I got a white person on it made me feel away. But then he said, "You know what? Just look at the algorithms. You don't have to believe me. Look at it." So yo, and I'm gonna put it out there too. I might have to mute the name, but last name ends with Tube. Last name ends with Tube, right? Tube, like lube, tube, right? So he said, "Just go look at your analytics and look at the thumbnails." He said, "Hey, I can see that you're not picking your thumbnails." I said, "Well, I am picking my thumbnails." He said, Go back and look at your page." So I was like, "For real?" I was like, "Okay, I'm looking." I was just like, wow. He said, "Okay, how many of those thumbnails have your face on them?" And I did the edit. I was just like, it's right there in front of my face. I did the edits. I did everything, right? I give everybody camera time, right? So I'm not one of the people that's like, "Yo, keep the camera on me because it's my show." I gave him plenty of camera time, and he might come back on another podcast. Like, that's my homeboy. I love Sean to death. But for this example, I looked at all the thumbnails and it was him. Even if I talked out of a 1 minute snippet, right? Say out of a 1 minute snippet, I talked for 55 seconds and he talked for 5 seconds. They pick him for the thumbnail. I was just like, okay, I get it. I see what time we on. So that made me, and I'm not getting to AI, but that also made me look at how AI can be programmed to be a little racist. And that's the scary part. That's why we got to have, that's the scary part. That's why we got to have colors. My white folk that listen to the pod, I know you still love me, so it's cool. Y'all, I love y'all too. You know what I mean? But that's why we got to have some black folk in the space of programming. Because if we don't, it's going to be a lot of programming and programmers that lean towards catering to a certain race. And I'm not saying catering to whites either. It could just cater to Indians. It could cater to Chinese people, cater to Africans. Like it just goes in a lot of different directions. So it's just like, But anyway, let me wheel it back in. Is being selfish good? Right now, I'm going to say yes. Like, you got to be selfish to get to a certain space. This is another thing I want to ask everybody. How are you in the space of finances? And are you working on, as far as financial, are you working on your dream? What up, Tim? Are you working on your dream or are you working on somebody else's stuff? I'll give you the secret of you working on somebody else's dream, right? You ready for it? You ready for it? This is what I'm gonna get to you. Working on somebody else's dream is paying a car payment. I know people gonna be like, how is that possible? When you're paying a car payment, you're paying for somebody else's dream. You're paying for Elon's dream. Even though I might get me a Tesla at some point. Now, it's a new car. That joint fire. I might wait until that joint comes down. I think it's called a Lucid or something like that. That joint's fire. It's an electric car. But if you buy a Tesla and you're paying $42,000, $50,000, you get that joint loaded $65,000, right? You paying for that joint. You paying for Elon's dream. You putting money into all of the other missions that he got going on because you want to look fly in his Tesla. But let's say you go ahead and get your little Camry, get your little Honda, you know what I mean? Get you a Ram. I got my Ram. I still like my Ram. Tim got the Chevy, you know what I mean? But say you get one of them joints, you pay for it. It's done. All of the extra money that you would have been paying on a car payment, now you can fund your dream. And that's one of the things that I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs and creatives are messing up. I don't want to, because I have to watch what I say because I am going to clip this up. But it was one person that kind of disappointed me. It was probably the last 2 weeks or so. But I've been getting on creatives, get this money, go blah 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 blah. I've been going hard. This is maybe you should try starting this business. I've been giving them jewels, right? Giving them jewels, and some of the jewels that I give is for self gain. All right, I'm gonna tell you how. If I gave you a jewel, like my little guy in LA, he made $111,000, right? Two quarters, half a year, $111,000. It's like, I'm proud of you, boy. I'm proud of you. Part of my reason is I know there's going to be a creative that only has the idea, that has no money, but they have the idea to do something. Well, guess what? If everybody that I mentor is in the $100,000 bracket, and everybody can say, well, yeah, I got 5,000, I got 10,000, here you go. You can start building business after business after business out the wazoo, and you don't have to ask me for nothing. I get a little bit of the equity, but you don't have to ask me for nothing because everybody's straight. That's why I do what I do. So I say that to say this. It was a guy that asked me if I could produce something. He said, I want to come in and sit down with you. And I am being spicy right now, just to let you know. I am being spicy because I don't care. But I want to come in and sit down with you, and I like your music. I see, boy, you got a Grammy. Ooh, what that feel like, boy? What they feel like? You got a Grammy and you got platinum what they feel like? Like it's crazy. When are you free for me to come through and sit down in your studio? So I was like, okay. I'm slow. I'm slow to welcome anybody into my space because I'm always watching. So I said, you know what? Let's do a heat check. I don't need it, but let's do a heat check. I said, well, you know what? What's the nature of you coming to sit down? You want to do some music? You want me to produce a track, right? He said, yeah, yeah. I said, okay, cool. So I said, all right, well, this is some of my rates. And I gave him the cheap rate, the cheapest rate that I could find. I think it was like, it's something that wouldn't, like, we'll spend it in a few hours. Like, I think like $250, $250, something like that, right? For you to come into my studio, come sit down with me. Now, it's in LA. That's a business person paid $500 for 1 hour on Zoom for me to sit down and we talk about business. That's my norm. When it comes to business, that's my norm. $500 an hour. That's my norm. But I said, you know what? If you want to come in, because I know you're a musician, and you might want to come politic, it's introspective conversations and this, and that. Then we get to some business and we chop it up. This is a 4-hour conversation. 4-hour conversation, easy. So in my brain, 4 hours, that's about $1,000, right? At $250. Now my normal rate, 4 hours, is at $2,000. But I said, you know what? You got $250, come through. He said, well, yeah, I wasn't trying to pay. I said, oh. I said, so you're not interested in coming through and sitting down and we talk about this, and that, and this, whatever. He's like, no, I'm not interested. I said, cool. Thank you. That's why I posted a post on Facebook a while ago. I was like, I thank God for my wife keeping bums from around me. Because it's like, yo, like, at what point do we have to be selfish enough to put ourselves in the position to get what we need to get to go where we need to go? Like, it's just, because what's going to happen is this, and it always happens. He'll see the Rolex. He'll see the Rolex on the camera. Like, oh wow, oh, he a real one. You see the studio stuff, and then you start seeing me on coaching calls with people like my mentor, Storm Leroy. Right, Storm Leroy got, I think, about 85 units. He might be worth 100 million right now. He gonna see me in different places like with Ash Cash, because we're working on his content studio. Right, I'm the contractor for that studio, which will have I don't know how many other people. He'll see me with Marvin Mitchell, and then he'll see me on InvestFest on a calendar date. And then say, oh well, you know what, yo, bruh, I'm trying to get in with you. I got the 250. No. No. Don't do that. No. Matter of fact, I got the perfect sound for you right here. This is the perfect sound for you.
She belongs to the streets.
You belong to the streets. Because at the point of the point where it mattered, right? Where Ash is fired. That's like, yeah, I ain't gonna get into that conversation. But anyway, it's just like, yo, at what point do people start to see the person that they're asking for this help from in the way that they're supposed to look at them, right? Because I'm like this. You don't even got to look at me as a coach. You don't want to look at me as a business coach. Cool. Look at me as a Grammy Award winning producer. I know my value. I'll be big 40 this year. Big 40. Look at me as a Grammy Award winning producer, right? All right, you don't want to do that? Google me. You can see my net worth is on the internet. Now, it might be off a little bit. I ain't going to say if it's too high, too low. The feds is watching. But you see my work. My work is right here. What up, Reg? The work is here. So it's like, yo, I want everybody, that's the takeaway for the night. Be selfish enough to put yourself in a better position. Because I promise you, if you don't, everybody is going to nickel and dime you for everything that you got. And that might be time. That might be resources. That might be getting in with your family and finagling their way into their space so they can get in your space. I've seen it all. So I love, again, when I come to Carolina, I see my family. I love my I love the mess out of my family. My family could get anything off of me. Like them, that's my folk. Them my folk, right? But when it's the extra people, I don't know who that was. My cousin brought in. It was one Thanksgiving. It was a guy that came in. He was like, "Yo, I want to play my mixtape." I was like, "Bet." Can I play a mixtape? I was like, "Yeah, you can, but not now." Like, oh, okay. Well, damn. Like, why? I was like, why? Like, I see my family one time a year for 1 week. Out of that, I'm working. I'm on the road. I'm doing something else productive. And you want me to spend 30, even if you want me to spend 10 minutes of my time. Okay, cool. It'll come with a tax. You don't want to pay the tax? All right, cool. Hold it. Email it to me. Text it to me. I'll listen to it. I promise you. But yeah, it's time to be selfish enough to get into a better space. Now, I will say this. What is a necessary compromise? Reg, what up? Tim, what up? What do y'all think? Whoever's on, what do y'all think is a necessary compromise as far as like life? Right? I'm one of the people, I will say you don't compromise with your dreams. That's one non-negotiable. You don't compromise with your dream. I don't care if you get married. I don't care if you're dating somebody. I don't care if you choose to be transgender, non-binary, whatever you want to do. Don't sacrifice your dream for anybody. Because I think what happens is when you sacrifice that and you compromise your dream and what your dream looks like, you will resent who or whatever circumstance that you allowed in that space forever. Ask me how I know. Ask me. Just ask. Yo, you will resent everything and everybody. Dreams, no compromise. Morals, no compromise. I don't care what level that you're on. You could be on the bottom level. You could be mailroom status, boo-boo status, which is like janitor. You know, you could be in one of those positions at the lowest point in the building. Don't compromise your morals. What compromised morals look like in that space? You know what? I know they said we can get about an hour of we can get an hour lunch. I'm gonna just take about an hour 30. Oh, you still in time. That's what it is. That's what it is. You know what? You know what? Instead of doing this 3,800 on my tax returns, I'm gonna just do 4,200, so I can get a little bit more right here. It's stealing, morals, compromise. Oh, yeah, if I do this with her, especially the husbands, because I know like social media has made everything so accessible. Where we see a little baddie and we just like, yo, she thick. Like, ooh, let me start looking at this. Just start scrolling. Yo, compromise. You are compromising a situation. Get your life together. So that's what it's weird that a lot of people don't really think about the why on certain things. Right? I'm always one of the people to think about the why. Like, why are we even entertaining what we're entertaining? If we know that a certain space is going to put us into sin category, right? And sin category could be ushered in with porn, right? We'll use that as an example tonight. Sin category could be porn. If you know good and goddamn on well, if you see Shawty on Instagram looking thick on Hot Girl Summer and you good and married, get off Instagram. Delete your profile. It's time for you to focus on what you got at the house and make that better. I was having a conversation, and me and my wife might talk about that on our pod, or we might not. We'll see. But I was having a conversation about how I feel like husbands have to get into the space where we feel sexy, we feel fire, we still got the spice for us. We got the spice for us because in return, the wives and the spouses are going to be like, oh, look at you. Like, you smelling like that? You going to just walk out the house smelling like that. I know you going to, yo. Reggie said, ooh, because I'm saying, it's just one of them things. But guess what? If you start focusing, again, that's being selfish to a certain extent, working on your body. When you know you could be doing a side job, making a little extra money. Okay, make your extra money on something else. Maybe do some drop shipping. Maybe do an ebook. Maybe if you're good at something, start a coaching class. Start a podcast. I don't think that anything worth having is quick. And that's one thing I will say. That's a takeaway I want people to have tonight too. Like anytime you're in a space of the unknowing, put the education tax on top of it. For unknowing something or not knowing how to do something, education tax might be time. If you know it took a doctor, what's the average MD degree? Like 8 years, 8 to 10 years, something like that. I think it's like 8 to 10 years. All right, so if you know it took a doctor, a whole grown doctor, big doctor, like Big 40, big doctor. If it took them all of 10 years to become what they are today, to make 200,000, 300,000, why do we think that we can bypass education tax and go straight to $1 million? No, like there are a few different cases where that ain't it, but most of the time you got to put the time in, you got to put the effort in, you got to get the resources, you got to get the different communities, you got to go to conferences, you got to invest in yourself. But everything worth having takes a little bit of time. Right? So I want y'all to do that. Put the education tax. We're going to call anything that takes time education tax. When I first started doing properties and handyman stuff, and I was doing started getting the contract and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, yo, I've been doing this for this long, and I'm starting to see the numbers. I'm starting to see the bread change. But I was like, but why I ain't hit $1 million yet? One fiscal year, 1 million. Why I ain't hit that yet? And it's like, yo, bruh. Education tax. You ain't there yet. Because there's some contractors out there that's probably been doing this for 20 years. They should be making $2 million a year take home. That's how that go. They done put the time in. We can't bypass that. I think honestly, I kind of like the idea of AI because I think AI is gonna learn us something. AI is gonna teach everybody that you don't know a goddamn gonna thing. That's what it is. Also, one of the last things, how are we accessing? I'm almost on the hour, golly. But how are we accessing people and how are we building our circles? One person that I know I can always count on, Reg. I can always count on this man right here. If it's something with in the friendship zone, I can count on Reg. If it's something in the real estate, I can count on Reg. Reg actually hooked me up with the what do you call it? The mortgage broker to help me with some stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, bet. That's how that works. Oh, cool. But yo, what kind of circles are we building? If we're not building the circles, how are we getting into the space? Because you got to get in the space. Let's put it this way. If it's anything online that y'all are going to get into, and this is for my community that's on Facebook or on YouTube or whatever. If it's anything online that you're going to get into, expect to pay. Nothing is free. Expect to pay for everything. I think that's part of what rubbed me wrong about Buddy. That's what kind of made me a little upset because it's like, yo, you expected to not pay me for a service or my time and expected to get this big elaborate thing in return. Elaborate, the pinnacle of elaborate is creative. And everything is creative. Think about it. If you were the person that was in the room with Sam Walton, we said, you know what? I think I want to come up with this store. It's kind of like it wasn't called grocery stores back in the day. It was called something else. But yeah, I want to come up with this idea kind of like a store, and I want to have toilet paper, but I also want to have clothes and stuff in it. I want to call it Walmart. Let's call it Walmart. I think that's a good idea. And then we're going to have another store called Sam's after my last name. So, you know, if it's a company that want to buy a lot of stuff for they workers and all that kind of toilet paper, big box items, they can get it from Sam's. But I think I want to do 2 different stores do this. And years later, guess what? You got Walmart and you got Sam's. You got Sam's Club. What did the person in the room get? Everything. Think about the person that was around Bill Gates when he was coming up with Microsoft. And yeah, I think I want to do this and this and that. And you know, at some point, let's just put them in the offices and see if it works out. Let's put them in the school system, see if it works out. Now, if you were at the point of conception for those businesses, think about it. Bags. So I want everybody to think about building their circles to be strong, for one, where they can last the test of time, and to be innovative. I'm sick of musicians. Yo, I'm not going to get into that bag tonight. I promise I don't want to. But I'm sick of musicians saying that they are doing something groundbreaking and you're not even doing, yeah, exactly, Walmart neighborhood store. I'm sick of musicians saying, yo, I got something fire coming out, this, and that. And I'm like, all right, cool. What's the innovation? The innovation is a t-shirt. No, that's not it. T-shirt is a regular item. You should automatically have that. There's nothing to be proud of. Like, if you just got a t-shirt, you should have been did that. Yo, yeah, I'm gonna do something crazy. I got the scan code this time. You're not doing nothing new. You're not doing nothing new. I want to see musicians, again, with the Denzel finger. I want to see musicians come up and say, yo, I got an idea for saving, not even saving gas. I have a new energy source for powering cars. What are musicians that's doing that? Just with the idea. You don't have to have the full equation. You don't have to know how something's gonna come up. Oh, yo, I got another idea of how to do sustainable living with leftover trash. It's biodegradable over here. You do this, and that. You put this together. You can build a whole structure out of it. What are musicians that's doing that? What are creators that's doing that? Don't try to sell me a t-shirt. I mean, if you want to, you can. I'll buy it. That's fine. I'll get you a little t-shirt. That's cool. But I want people to get in the space, and specifically, because I got a lot of black folk that's listening to my pod. Specifically us. I know everybody say, well, yo, we going to do a blackout Monday, or whatever that was everybody was doing. I was like, it's just dumb. We can't black out nothing because we don't own nothing. Like, I said, okay, all right, cool. We're going to black out something. Let's say somebody needs some food. Where you going to go get some food from? Well, I mean, shoot, just go to the store, get some food. That's not what I mean by blackout. It's like, okay, so don't say it in the literal sense. If that's what you mean, because we don't own Walmart, the brand. We don't own Target. We don't own Kroger. We might be a franchisee, but we don't own it. We didn't come up with the idea. Pinky Cole, I love Pinky. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to get on the pod, but Pinky Cole, hey, yo, let me give you one, cause there's one black woman right there. She started Slutty Vegan, and it's an empire. I see it turn into a McDonald's easy. But yo, where are we at with creating stuff that people need? I'm sick of the t-shirt. No more t-shirts. I feel like Harlem Nights. We said, don't shoot that gun. Stop shooting that gun. No more t-shirts. Don't do it. I'm sick of that. Don't do that. Don't give me any merch. Your hats. I don't care. Don't send me your hats. Matter of fact, do you have an idea for a new car? Yo, show me the next black person that come up with an electric car. Right? Show me that. I will be one of the first ones. It was what was it? Don Wilkins, Don something. I can't remember her name. But see, this is what lets you know I'm a real one. I stand by what I say. I saw her, Don. I can't remember her last name, but I saw this black woman on Shan's podcast, on the Social Proof podcast, and she was one of the innovators for facial recognition technology in the airports. And when you go to the kiosk, you got to go touch this. And she was one of the forefront people that came up with the concept, but now she needed money to do extra stuff. And she was trying to raise capital to do whatever. She was doing crowdfunding for it. So I was like, yo, soon as I saw that, I talked to my wife. I was like, yo, I think we should put some money in here. And she's like, yo, of course. We put money in it immediately. Second day. I saw her on the podcast and put money on it immediately. I ain't put, and decent money too. Decent money. And we didn't put money in and say, it's probably been about a year or two now. We didn't put money in and say, well, yeah, I need that back. I need to get my percentage back off the top when you make. No. Win it for the long game. But we are able to do that because we've been selfish enough to put ourselves in the position. So, I think I might be done. I got some more topics, but I'll talk about that on the next pod. Also, when y'all see the pod, I got the Me and Shmiz's pod is fire. Y'all see the name of it. The name of it is funny, but y'all see the pod. I'm proud of that. And we got some dope stuff coming up. So please, again, like, share, subscribe. If you see me on live, go ahead and turn that joint on. We're going to go up. All right? Until next week, peace.